All right, welcome everybody to week 7, day 1. I just revealed my IP address, so I'm going to start over. First thing we learned was how to add things to your project from the Epic Game Store. I'm going to be making an explosive barrel thing and a destructible mesh demo today. Just something I haven't done in a couple of years, so hopefully it'll go fine. So what I did was I went onto the marketplace and found some barrels that suited my fancy. So I just went on here and searched for barrel and found this one. Yeah, this one here. Clicked purchase, and then after you purchase it, you hit add to project. And when you want to add something to the project, a lot of times your project will not appear. And the reason why it doesn't appear is because it's not marked as compatible. So you have to click on show all projects, choose your current one, and then choose 4.26. In this case, the latest version that's marked as compatible, hit add to project, then it downloads. And once it downloads, you don't even have to restart the editor at all. It actually just appears in a new window here, or a new folder here, and then you can drag out this stuff. Okay, so that's where we are. Hazelton wanted to see how my Comcast is doing, and I'm getting between 400 and 700 down and 30 to 40 up, so pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. So we're going to be doing destructible meshes today, which involves shattering stuff. So I put out one of the barrels and then put out a cube and added a material to it. So there we go. We just caught up for the 3 minutes before this recording started. So how do we turn this into a destructible mesh? Well, we don't. So we're going to delete that. And what we're going to do is we are going to find a meshes. Where are you? Geometry, meshes, cube. There we go. And we're going to right click on it and choose create destructible mesh. And you'll notice there is no create destructible mesh. Oh, that's a problem. So you have to go up into the plugins directory. Plugins is edit plugins, and you have to search for destructible, and that is you right there. Okay, and so make sure all 3 of these destructible things are on, and hit restart, hit save, and there we go. So in order to make a destructible mesh, you have to have a mesh, and then you right click on it and choose create destructible mesh. So there we go. We have rebooted into it. And so, for example, if I wanted to, let's delete you, go to here, no, into here, and here's our heavy barrel. Right click, create destructible mesh. Boom. Okay. Then this is the thing that allows us to create destructible meshes. All right, and let's just shrink it a little bit, like this. And your standard editor stuff, WASD, works fine in here. What this is doing, it's a preview of the destruction. So by default, if it takes a single point of damage, it breaks. And then this thing here controls how the damage spreads through the model. So you can make it so that, like, if you have a bullet point, does it shatter the entire thing, or does it just fragment off like a chunk of it? It's pretty cool. Enable impact damage will be from collisions, and how much damage does it take when it hits something? So we'll just set that to 1, I guess, and then that's fine. That's fine. Debris is how long the chunks live for. So after it shatters, how long the pieces stay in the world. I'll just set it to I don't know, between 2 and 4 seconds or something. Debris max separation. If they fly too far, then yeah, I'll just leave those. Okay, so Voronoi is what my CSI, or not CSI, IS50B people have been working on. They've been coding up a Voronoi implementation in C++. And so now I'm going to just point them at this video and have them see, look, this stuff is useful. It appears in real life. And so what happens when you do a Voronoi is that it will randomly drop seeds all around through the barrel, and then it computes the chunks of the barrel that are closer to one seed than another. So a Voronoi diagram looks like this. So you drop seeds, and then it figures out which areas are closer to other areas. Yeah, this is literally their homework assignment right there. That's cool. That's a neat application of it. And you can do like Voronoi maps. If you compute which parts of America are closer to one capital than another, this kind of redraws the states, right? So LA is closer to Phoenix than it is to Sacramento, right? So what the orange area is the areas that are closer to Sacramento than any other capital. And it kind of mixes things up a little bit, huh? Seaports. It's like world capitals or whatever. Voronoi beer map. Yeah, so this is the thing. And so what the Voronoi things are doing here is it's going to randomly put 25 points within the barrel and then make a chunk out of it. And final for the rest of that. Okay, so we need to shatter it first. So let's fracture the mesh. So this is going to run the calculations, and then you can see what happens when this thing shatters. It's going to go like this. It is cool. And if you don't like the randomness you got there, you can change the random seed and refracture it. You get different chunks. If you want more seeds, you can do that. Breaks into more chunks. So this is a hollow mesh, so if you were doing a solid mesh, then all the internal parts would fall out as well. Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah, that's basically it. Okay, hit save, and then you'll see in here we now have a destructible mesh based on that barrel. So we'll just drag that out like that, hit play, and if we come over here, then I don't think we have physics on. Nope, it broke. Okay, there we go. Did lag when that happened. So when we touch it, it lags. It's unfortunate. So we can drop it. It shatters. Kind of cool. Put up a little bit higher. Kind of cool. Let's see if it's going to do that even if physics... No. With physics on, it just touches anything and then it shatters. So we'll probably need to mess with it a little bit. Just collapses on itself. Is that Voronoi? Voronoi is the process by which you create the random chunks. So, yeah. Let's go back in. damage threshold of 10. Save. Play. I'm still shattering. Come on, break. We can do this, we can do this. Nope. Alright, it's pretty tough now, huh? Sprinting, maybe too tough now. No. Damage times impact force. Nope. There we go. Okay. And so the impact that we do from the glitter bomb, you can see it's like interacts with it as well. Okay, so I think this vanished, dude. Pretty cool. Alright, so let's see if there's anything else we want to do with that. Damage spread, let's try setting that to 1 and see how that affects things. So it shatters a little more violently. So again, that has to do with whether it's treated like glass or like wood, you know. These guys we can turn into destructible meshes too. That could be kind of fun. Let's see here. Browse to asset. Cube chamfer. Create destructible mesh. Impact damage on. Damage threshold. It's at 10%, so let's set it up to like 500. Accumulate damage means that as you keep kicking it, the damage will build up into it until it finally shatters. I can't recast. What do you do for? Okay, whatever. Let's fracture it. Let's make a few more of these things. Let's make 50 of them. Fracture. And then, yeah, let's have it be low impact damage. Okay. Yeah, let's try that. Okay, save. And then we'll have to replace these guys with delete this whole thing. I don't know why we got bushes and stuff. Oh, I just deleted something important. The sky. I deleted the sky. Okay, let's not do that. Let's just delete all this. Okay. And let's just make a little pyramid over here. Three. Let's set about 2, 2, 2. Okay, so it's about double the normal size. Drop it on the ground. And let's first see if that like shatters itself. No. 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 Worked out pretty well. So even a near hit isn't breaking it. Oh, there we go. Took a chunk of it off. Right? Because I said this thing to be more wood-like, you know. It's pretty much got to get a direct hit on it. It's a little too sturdy. Yeah, if you press end, yeah, you don't want to try and eyeball that, because if you have like an inch or something above the ground, then like shadows and things like that will come under. You definitely want to use end to drop it on the ground. Let's see. Maybe let's accumulate damage. Let's drop the threshold down to 100. Still want it self-shattering, but I want it to like break if I get near it. Oh, you know what? Maybe it's not. Confetti ball. Let's take a look at confetti ball and see how that's doing. Let's see. Let's go over here. Cast main character. Yeah, okay. So if it's not the main character, okay, then we spawn an explosion, multi-sphere for each. If it's simulating physics, then we add a radial impulse. So that should do it. So why is it not? So why is it not shattering? So maybe it's just too strong. Let's try that. I mean, it's impacting it. You can see that the traces are impacting it, but it's not shattering it until I get a direct hit on it. Oh. Just keep messing with this until we learn something here. Ooh. Just ate it. simulate physics might need to be on. Ignore radial impulses not on. Okay. Yeah, okay, now it's working. All right. Okay, so now we figured out what the problem was, which was physics was not on. And I'm going to start yanking this back up. Yeah, kind of cool. All right. I'm just going to duplicate these things out, make a little pyramid. Nope. Alright. Uh-oh. It's crumbling under its own weight. I'm going to need to turn off the debug drawing on the confetti ball. So confetti ball, multi-sphere trace by line. I'm going to turn off draw debug none. Okay. It's kind of getting to around the place where I want. Except this thing's shattering under its own weight. It's a problem. So let's come back in here. And reset this up to this. Yep, still doing it. Alright, that was kind of cool. Let's see. So I'm not doing damage, so I do need to have this on. There we go. That's cool. That's pretty neat. What do you guys think? it's a fun fun little thing you can do, and it makes your world look a lot more interactive. If you implement a damage system, then you can directly add damage to it, and have it accumulate damage, and so you can have somebody shooting with a laser, and then it crumbles and starts falling apart and stuff like that, which is kind of fun. This debris is not going away, huh? You can kick all that around too. Okay. Set to simulate physics, but collision enabled is incompatible. Interesting. Destructible components are set to simulate physics, but collision enabled is incompatible. Huh. Chunk round. It's a bit odd. Okay, so that was step one, where we create a little thing like that, and we can go away, human. Try to shoot that guy out of the sky. Dang it. Okay. Definitely very explosive. Maybe we'll cut down on the impact. It's quite high right now. Let's take it down by 2 orders of magnitude. Okay. It's 100 times weaker now. A little bit too weak, I guess. Make it 10 times stronger. A little too strong. Well, that's cool. You see how it hit the ground and it shattered? It's kind of neat. I'll turn it down a little bit. 75,000 units of kickback, or however you want to put it. Alright. There you go. That feels about right. And then when it hits, it shatters. Cool. Okay, so that is step one, and then the other thing I want to do was add in a destructible barrel here. So, walk into that. Crumbles after a bit of lag. Let's see, play shatter. I think shattering like a plate. You see that? Like it's like if you drop a plate on the ground, it's shattering like that. So I'm not super thrilled with that. I think I'm happy with the kickback on that now. Happy with you. So let's go into the wooden props, meshes, and then that destructible mesh, I'm going to cut that and paste it up into Bill so that all the stuff I work on is in one place. Did I do that wrong? Meshes. Just drag it up, I guess. Into Bill. Move here. Okay. Double click and destructible settings. Damage spread. I'll set it to like point. Go on. It's a little better. That ball is still super powerful. So what we can do is we can overwrite its physics behavior. So for every object, there's a material, and then there's also this destructible mesh, large chunk threshold, hard sleeping, minimal physics. Oh yeah, physical material. So you can should hit advanced fire. I think it should probably. So we don't currently have any physical materials, so we can come up here and choose create a new one. We'll save that in Bill called Phys Mat, like that. Just going to be physical material, and then click down here, or we could do it by right clicking and choosing physical material. Okay, so you can double click on that. You can provide a lot more parameters to the physics engine using this. The light going through the destruction's a nice touch. Thanks, I didn't do it, but I'll take credit for it. So you can set all these things. Ooh, friction of 0. Let's try that. That sounds like fun. And hit play. Let's see if this thing's going to slide at all. No. Okay. That'd be kind of fun. I need to put it on like a ramp. Have it go skiing. Delete, or not delete, duplicate. Let's jump here. And let's see how that works. Play. Now it just shatters. Dang. Oh. Anyway. So yeah, I got physics here. Put that back up. 7. Static friction. Friction is how things can slide on it. Oh, okay. Never mind. So. Restitution. How bouncy it is. Density is going to control the weight. And so we'll turn that up by a factor of 10 and see how that goes. And a lot of times when you're doing development, it's helpful to just have the thing right there in front of you so you don't have to like navigate through the world, you know? Okay, so maybe for those guys, yeah, whatever. Okay, so now it's shattering under its own weight, I think. Yeah. Okay, because I just increased its density by 10 times. So... damage threshold. Take that up. There we go. So you see when I hit it now, it's still shattering, but before it was just flying all over the place. And so I've made it 10 times more dense now. And so when I hit it, it now behaves a little bit better. Did you see that? It's like if I come up and nudge it, it like doesn't even break all the time. I could probably make it a little bit harder to kill. Twice as hard. And then I can like push it over, and then it shatters when it falls. Okay. Yep. So these are all things you can play with. It's still a little bit too explodey, so I'm gonna take the density up to 20. Try that out. All these things you just need to play with, you know. Play. There you go. That feels a little better to me. Although, you know, wood doesn't shatter that way, really. Shred. Let's try that. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so I'm okay happy with this now. Not totally thrilled, but not too annoyed by it. Destructible damage threshold scale. So you make it harder to shatter. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I'll leave that alone. I guess I'm done with those for now. I'm going to move the barrel over to here. I want to make an explosive barrel. Well, the good news is, because my rocket launcher is explosive, I can just shoot it. Okay, so that works out all right. Let's see here, play. Not bad, not bad. Yeah, wood is more like jagged chunks and small splintery pieces. Yeah. There's more advanced ways of doing destruction, but I think this is okay for now. Right now it's kind of shattering like like you had a ceramic box or something, and it's like fragmenting into shards and things like that. But yeah, it kind of looks cool, so whatever. Rule of cool applies. If I set the density up really high, let's see, probably just crumble in on itself. Yeah. So if you do that, the thing just kind of just collapses in on itself. The shattering isn't quite right, but you know, it's not like flying apart like it was made of glass or something. Okay. Yeah. So let's make it shatter. Okay. So we're going to talk about how to make things interactive today. Continue to make things interactive today. So last time we did a rocket launcher, so we made it so that when we click, it creates a new projectile. The projectile flies out. When the projectile hits something, it does a radial impulse, which allows you to interact with the physics in the world and things like that. Kick these things around. It's kind of cool. We learned a little bit about the vectors behind it as well, because you have to grab the forward vector from the camera to figure out where you're looking, things like that. So, let's see. So now let's combine the bit we did with the box triggers and show you how to like connect between different objects in the world. So what if I had like 3 barrels, and this is like, I don't know, some sort of like physics puzzle, and like we got some hostages here. Right, so he got Mrs. Snowman over here, and the Joker has got her rigged up to some explosives. Control W and drag you out over here and there. So we got that, and we got Frosty over here, who is I think not a real object anyway. Let's see. Done. Copy. Let's see here. New blueprint class actor. Call this one Frosty. And paste. Will that work? No. Edit. Copy. Edit. No paste. Yeah, when you do things this way, it's just not a great way of handling the world. So I'm actually just going to delete Frosty out of here. There we go. We're just going to recreate him real fast inside of a blueprint, which is kind of the more proper way of doing it anyway. So that white ball there is the world origin. That's 0, 0, 0 in local coordinate space. It's the origin. Like when you drag it out, that's the place where it appears. And so we're just going to add some spheres on top of here. So add a sphere. Hopefully you guys all know how to do this by now. It should default to 1 meter. That. And we're going to have it resting on the world origin. Good. So that's like his foot, basically. Go away, Hume. We can set Frosty to be purple. Nah, we're going to do Frosty material. Control W and move up like that. Control W and come on, gives me, there you go, move up like that. And then there we go. So there's the body of Frosty. Okay. And then we will add, and in fact I'm going to parent these together. So if you drag it on like this, watch what happens. If you drag it on, you can attach it to another piece. So now if I move the bottom piece, ooh, the bottom piece should be the parent. Okay. Why are you? Oh, I moved the wrong one. There. No, whatever. Let's move it to you, and then you should be attached to you. 1, 2 is attached to yeah. Okay. All right. So now if I move the bottom one, watch what happens. They all move, right? But if you move the top one, the other ones don't move. But if you move the middle one, the top one moves, but not the bottom one. So it's called a parent-child relationship. And it's very useful when you're doing things with arms and torsos and things like that, where you sometimes want things to bend and move and things like that. So we got his body now. And so one question is, which way is forward, right? And it depends on the... depends on if you're using Blender or Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine X forward, or is it Y forward? What is considered forward? Because a lot of times you have to rotate things 90 degrees, so I always get them backwards. So the axis is up. Yeah, X is forward. Okay. So in Blender, though, I think Y is forward, and so every time you import something from Blender, you have to like rotate it 90 degrees. It's kind of irritating. Save is fine. Okay, so if you look down here at the bottom left, that's kind of what I'm eyeballing. I'm looking at the different directions. Z is pointing upwards, X is this way, Y is this way. So what I'm going to do is attach the face over here. And we will add a component called I guess we'll just add another sphere, it's fine. And this will be called the eye. And then this one, F2, will be called the bottom. And you will be called the midsection. You're called the top. And we will attach the eye to the top. And then this eye will come up here and get scaled down 10%. It's about eyeball sized. Moved out in the X direction. And the material will be some sort of black, maybe. Attach it to the face. Basically doing your first homework assignment. Control W it. Over here. And then that's what we call left, or no, that's actually the right eye, isn't it? Right eye. This is the better way of doing your first homework assignment, by the way. Left eye. Not the best, the better way of doing it is to actually use a Blender or Maya or 3ds Max or something like that. But at least when we do it this way, we can move the whole thing together. And if we destroy something, we can destroy all of Frosty at once rather than having just a bunch of different objects in the world that we could group. But that's kind of a weird and awkward system of working with it. And then finally we need the nose, which is a cone. Come here and do a cone, and the cone will be attached to the top section as well. And so that's going to come up here. That's also going to be scaled down to about 20% normal sized, and we're going to rotate it around the Y 90 degrees, and then let's flip it negative 90 degrees. There we go. And pull it out a little bit. And that looks like it's a little bit too low. Make its nose a little bigger. Material will be gold. Be a good carrot color. Oak will do. Okay. So there we go. We got Frosty. I could do the hat and stuff later. So that'll work. It's not even a blueprint yet. I mean, it's a blueprint, but I haven't blueprinted. I haven't done anything on it. I'm just doing that so that we've got this blueprint called Frosty, and if we want, we can drag out Frosty and rotate him around, and then we can drag out another Frosty. See that? So rather than having all these different, you know, the spheres that were individually moving around and stuff like that, we can do that, and if we ever put a hat on it, then hats will appear on all of them. So, just got a couple of Frosties over here. Kind of cute. I don't know. And then we got the go away human one over here. Oh, so that's shattering by default. That's not good. You should be on the ground. There we go. There you go. Okay, so we're gonna make a game in which the Joker's got these poor civilians rigged to blow, and you have to solve the riddle and press the button that corresponds to the wall that you're trying to blow through, and you know, we can even, I don't know, make a bigger obstacle or something, but whatever, that's the idea, right? So you're trying to get through there, and if you hit the wrong one, you're going to blow up a Frosty or something, okay? So, units or centimeters. Yeah. So, let's see if it tells you. Location. Man, that'd be a great thing to have on the tooltip, huh? No. That's degrees. Yeah. That'd be really useful, you know. Yeah, it's centimeters. So, as far as like the force, I don't know, it's some sort of like energy or work or something like that. Okay. So if we run into this, shatter it, we're going to kill the poor Frosties. Okay, so let's make the world interactive. Let's make, how do you want to do it? Like, do you want to have like a button like on the ground, like you walk over it, like you can have like maybe like a different color, like a green one, a red one, and a purple one, or we can have lights like switches, like you pull down on the thing and a barrel explodes. You can do the Quake thing where you just walk up and push it with your face, and then the thing goes off. How would you like to do this? I'm like I've told you guys before. When I do this class, I just sort of take requests and do whatever it is you kind of feel like. A switch. Okay. Make Portal 3. You have to move the barrel onto the button. It's gonna shatter the second you touch it. Okay. Okay, so a light switch or something. Okay. What can we attach the light switch to? Let's put a wall up. Do one of these here. A little bit of that there. Material. Okay, so there's the wall that we're gonna have a light switch on, or some sort of switch. Let's snap that up. There. Okay. So is that kind of the, you guys understand what I'm getting at? Like, you have 1 and 2 and 3, and in fact, if you want to put text on the world, you can do that. In fact, we have text right here. IS50 is awesome. Let's repurpose that maybe, or I'll just leave that there for now. So if you just come up here and search for text, you can get a text render, and so we're just gonna slap that up onto here, rotate it around 90 degrees, put up here, is it lined up, and then a little goofy, a little small. Text will be what walks on 4 legs put a switch beneath there. Control W and what says go away human. I think my wall needs to be a little bigger. Stretch out. Walks on 4 legs. What says go away human, and then the last one will be, I don't know, what's a good clue for play Wonderwall. There we go. Okay. It's got a little riddle board here. Just gonna move it around a little bit. That looks good enough. Okay, so switch. Oh, did you want? Oh, you wanted the thing on the ground. Yeah. Yeah, because that's easier to do. I was kind of hoping you guys would pick that, but yeah, this this will work too. Maybe I'll just make a. Maybe I'll make a button on the ground. I don't know. Yeah. So we can have a floor switch here, or we can have a lever. Why not both? Yeah. Because duplicates work. I guess I'll just do a lever because that's kind of what I was going for. I'll just stick with it. So right click, new blueprint class, actor, lever switch thing. Okay, so this I'm gonna add to it a box. Ooh, blackboard. No, not you. Add component box cube. And I don't know how big this is going to be. So I'm actually just going to save this, and I'm going to put it out in the world. Okay, it's way too big. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to like attach it to the wall here, and then we can sort of, as we edit the blueprint, we can view the changes. So come over here and change the scale to be 0.2. See, look, in the world you can see it. So then the height 0.8, the z depth 0.5. What do you think? Taller, smaller? What do you think? 0.8, 0.5. Wait, bigger, smaller? Smaller width-wise? Like that? And I was thinking this could be like the back of it, and then it could have like a lever like coming out of it or something. So we can attach this like add another cube, like that, and yeah, and then this one will be called lever up, and then we will just Control W that and call this one lever down. And now let's not duplicate it quite yet because we need to resize you 0.1. 0.8, 5, 0.8. Pull you out and rotate you around like this. So you're kind of like sticking out a little bit. facing the wrong way. Right. Maybe this will be a lever down. Kind of see what I'm going for here, like a light switch kind of thing. It's a little narrow. Let's widen it a little bit. Make it a square. And then we usually want to call attention to these things, so I'll make it like a red. Purple. Gold. Normally I'd make separate materials for these things, but I'm just kind of, it's not the point for today. Gold. Rust. Rock. Some sort of sci-fi glowing tech panel. Oak. I'll just go with what I had originally. Just make it red so it's visible. Okay, so I could animate this thing instead. Could I? Nah, I'm just gonna have two of them. All right, so I'm gonna have lever up, and which should actually be called lever down, and I'm gonna Control W that. Call this one lever up, and so I'm actually just gonna switch which one is visible at the start. So lever down, lever up, rotate. I feel like both of these should be like a little bit higher. But something like that. What do you think? And then if we just flip the visibility on these things, wherever you are visible. So we have the up, and then we have the down. Yeah. Thank you for your feedback, Torres. It's nice to know at least one student is here. The rest of you guys can chip in too. This is a cooperative process. All right, so we're going to compile this. We got our light switch, event graph. When we begin the world, we're going to start with it up or down? Down? Down. Okay, so we are going to start off by hiding lever up. Yeah. Set visible. Set visibility. We're going to set the visibility of the upper one to be false. So when we run the game, come over here, and the upper one's hidden. Like I said, a better way of doing this would be to animate it. I'm not going to get into that right now. So what's going to happen is that when we begin play, the upper part I'm just going to hide, and then the lower part will be visible. Then when we touch it, we're going to flip the switch. And so what do we need to add to this thing in order to have it trigger when the person touches it? Or we can add an use key, but Let's just make it so you walk up and hit it with your face and the thing switches. On hit, event hit, yeah, that's true, but how do we trigger that? What do we add? What do we add to our model here to add the ability to overlap an invisible zone that when you hit it, it flips the switch? Collision sphere. Yep, that'll do it. Or you can add a box collision. Either one. Either sphere collision or box collision. Which one would you prefer? Collision of some sort? What do you think makes more sense? Capsule collision, which is like a cylinder with a rounded top and bottom. Cube. Okay. Alright. So we'll add a box precision, and we're going to set it to be the child of the cube there. So that when the cube moves, the box collision moves, and a little bit bigger than this, right? Do you guys see that? It's like you come like that close to it, it's gonna hit, it's gonna trigger. Yeah, does that seem about right? Or we can make it a lot bigger, so you just kind of get close to it and it. About right? Okay. And if you jump on it from above, it'll trigger. Do we want that? Maybe not. Let's move that down a little bit. Scale it down a little bit. It's like if you somehow got on top of the wall and fell on it, it wouldn't activate. You have to like literally. Let's put it over here, I guess. You can make this quite precise if you want. So. It's like you got to really kind of get up in there and put your face like right here, and then it'll click. Okay. Hard to tell before testing. Yeah, exactly. So if it's too annoyingly close, like you have to like literally get the camera like up into here, then we'll modify it. So cube simulates physics. No. Simulation generates hit events. Yes. Box simulation generates hit events. Oh no. That's not what we want. Not you. Generate overlap events. Yes. Generate overlap events. Yes. Collision presets overlap all dynamic. So let's find out if this works. So compile, save, event graph on begin overlap. What's the first thing we do just to see if the overlap takes place? What do we do? Before we, hide things and show things? Print. Yes, very good. Print string, and we're just gonna leave it at hello, whatever. Okay, so snap this over to here. Don't need the physical material anymore. Save view, play. Ah. It's printing hello, so I mean, I guess it works. If you want to trigger the light switch, I all of a sudden feel like my daughter. I need to get out like one of those little kids' step stools I can put on the ground to get up and get at the cereal or something. It's funny. How did I not notice that? This doesn't. Okay. All right. Let's add some stairs. Let's add the. Get the cars or Elsa or something like that. All right, little helper stool. Okay. So do that, and we'll stretch it out. There we go. Okay. So let's yeah, make this dirty matte as well. Ah, jeez, yeah, that's super annoying. Select matching brush. There we go, and display that dirty matte, and there we go. Yeah. So whenever you do something with stairs, like you can individually select and texture each face of the material. That does not look great. So select all of it. No, it's still tiling. You see all the repetition on that? Right. Basic. Yo, basic. That's kind of cool. Alright. You got a cool little... Oh, yeah. Physics on that. That was cool. I'll do that again. Kick this. Go bowling. Alright. Okay, so now that we got that, let's Control W it and move it over to there, and Control W and move it over to there. And now we've got 3 switches, and each one of them is activating. Okay. So, where are we? Lever switch. So now that we know that it activates, what we want is for it to switch the visibility of the 2 levers. So lever down is going to become set visible. Lever down is going to be invisible, and lever up is going to be visible. And there we go. So we can hit these. If these were real light switches, we could feasibly, like, you know, have them switch back down. But as it is, the Joker has rigged the barrels to blow, so it doesn't matter if you reset the levers or not. And in fact, in video games, it's oftentimes a good idea to not allow your levers to reset if there's no reason to, right? Because then people put them back down, look around the world, put it up, look around the world. If you got 2 of them, they'll try all 4 combinations. If you got 3 of them, they'll try all 8 combinations. And if you have a lever that when you hit it, it extends a bridge and that's it, it doesn't go back, just leave it stuck. Because otherwise we'll come up and hit it down and see, you know, what it does. So this is probably the right behavior for where we're at. If we wanted to, we could have a toggleable switch, but you know, whatever. Where were we? Lever switch. Okay, so cool. And then components, variables. Let's make a variable, and this variable can be called activated or something like that. We'll make it public. This means that anybody can read the state of this switch. And we're going to set activated to be true. So when we flip the switch, we're just going to kind of keep track of it like that. We're going to set it to be true. I don't know if I'm going to be doing anything with it just yet, because what I'm going to do actually is each one of these switches is going to be tied to exactly 1 barrel. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So the barrels are of type barrel heavy DM. Really? That's a dumb name. Let's call this explosive barrel. Like that. And that's a better name. And over here, we've got this character over here, which will be called the purple wall barrel. And this one over here is going to be called the... oh, I got one over there too. Dang. Okay. This one is going to be called the Frosty's Dune barrel. And... oh no, wait, that's not Frosty's Dune. This is... go away barrel. I'm just renaming these things to make it easier to track. And then this one will be called Frosty's Doom. So when that goes off, it's going to kill the Frosties there. I could probably turn on physics and have it explode and actually separate the parts of the Frosty. That could be kind of fun, actually. Like, anyhow, let's not worry about that just yet. I can have it rolling around like this thing here. Okay, so so what I want is like to have this switch connected to this barrel. And this is a really important thing. So everybody please pay attention to it. Like having the ability for like one thing to like talk to another thing is something you have to do in video games. And how you go about doing that is, of course, well, there's always different ways of doing it. So for example, in our blueprint, we could say find all actors of class explosive barrel, and then we go through all of them to find the one named Frosty's Doom. But I'm going to show you a better way of doing it. So where were we? Lever switch. So I'm going to make a variable, and that variable, I don't need you guys here. That variable is going to be called target barrel, and that's also going to be public. I don't think it has to be. Now the type of this, red means Boolean. Booleans are either true or false. Activated is either true or false. Either we flipped the switch or we haven't. Again, I don't know if I'm actually going to do anything with that. In a more complicated game, I probably would. Like if you want to... like if you want to tell, like, have they flipped all three of the switches and just killed everybody. You know, you'd want these to be visible so that you could mess with them. As it is, I could probably delete it, but I'm not going to. So the type of this target barrel, though, is not going to be a Boolean. It's not true or false. It is, in fact, going to be a barrel. Actor reference is what I'm actually looking for here. Object types. Wow, there's a lot of these things. What did I call it? Blueprint effect explosion. No. Interesting. Thank you, thank you. You need to be a... Okay. And... so, target barrel is going to be set to be public. I really want that to be a barrel. Okay, so what I'm going to do, so if, did I compile it? Compiled, save, okay. So what I can do now is when I come over here, you can see that all the public variables are now visible in the editor. So for example, I've got here target barrel, and I can choose any actor within the world to be the target of that. And what I really wanted was for it to be just barrels, but, you know, barrel with me on this. So what you can do is you can use the eyedrop tool, click on that, and then just click on the barrel, and then it's going to link them together. Okay. So what walks on 4 legs is going to be linked to this barrel here. This one over here, I'm going to click on you, and I can search for it this way. We call it the purple wall barrel. So you can search for it by name if you want, or you can click on that and just eyedrop it over to you, the go away barrel, and now they're linked. Okay, so now we have connected together 2 different blueprints that have never heard of each other before. All right, and so now when we flip the switch, we're going to set off the barrel over whichever one is linked to it. Okay. Do you guys understand that? That's a really important concept. So you create a variable of type, in this case actor. I'm still a little annoyed by that, but either. Create an object of type actor, and then you make it public, and when it's public it will appear out in the editor, and you can just click them together using the eyedrop tool. And that's how you can link things together. Default. You can change the categories. They appear in the default category here. You can change the categories where they appear and stuff like that too. Okay, so what we want is when they overlap, we're going to flip the switch, and then we're going to blow up the barrel. Okay, so we are going to get target barrel, and we are going to cast to explode. Is it because it's a destructive mesh? It's not a blueprint, that's why. Okay, yeah, sorry. We need to do one more step first. Or do we? I think we make do without it being a blueprint, actually. So we can just do this, get it, and we will get, and that's why we couldn't find it, by the way. Get the actor location. So we're going to get the location of the barrel that we're linked to, and then we are going to just do a radial physics, add radial force. Add radial force component, add radial vector. Where are you? Okay. We're going to add it to the target barrel. Primitive, yeah, dang. We do need to make it a different. Well, actually, let's do this first. Spawn emitter at location. So we're going to do an explosion at the location of the barrel. So let's start with that. And you can see how they're linked up. So I'm going to walk over here. And when I go up to go away human, you can see there's an explosion over there. Well, walks on 4 legs. There you go. And when I go over to you, boom. And technically it keeps activating, right? Because we're not disabling ourselves, which we need to do. So you can see it keeps exploding every time I hit that. And in fact, we can just do that right now. So we can use activated. So get activated, and we can do a branch. And so we can say if we have been activated already, do absolutely nothing. Otherwise, proceed. So this will stop us from doing it again. There's a node called do once that implements the same thing. Well, walks on 4 legs. Boom. And then it won't activate again. Flip, flip. Okay. Any questions so far? So we're spawning the emitter, and then we need to, looks good. All right, so then we need to do what? We need to delete the barrel, or actually maybe we don't need to delete it. We just need to add radial impulse. There we go. Not one attached to anything. That's what I was looking for. So we're going to add a radial impulse. Target self, doesn't matter. Origin though is U. Radius of 10 meters. Strength of 100,000. And call. Oop, error. Blueprint self is not a primitive component. Not a primitive component. Your body's in this component. Damage of 5,000. Origin U. Damage radius 10 meters. Damage type. Okay, let's try that. So that's not doing the physics, but it should cause damage. Yeah, see that? Shattered. Okay, cool. Yeah, that didn't shatter. Get stronger. You know, I'm actually going to move this one over a little bit just so I can see it. Okay. What says go away human? There. Good. It shatters now. Good. Good. Okay. So shattering those things, I don't think it's quite doing enough damage yet to shatter that wall, but I mean, I think you get the idea. Now let's just try one more thing and see if I'm right about that. Let's just add 2 more digits there and see if that is enough to cause it to explode. No. Okay. It might be getting blocked. Yeah, it's visibility. Okay, rather than doing that, then what we're going to do is we're going to find everybody nearby. So we're going to do a sphere trace. Sphere trace by channel. And so this is what we did last time. It's a radius search. So when the barrel explodes, we're going to find everybody near it. So we're going to start from the barrel's location, going to the barrel's location in a 20-meter radius. We will draw for a few seconds the explosion. And, oh, we need to do multi. Sorry. So we can find multi-sphere trace by channel. So the thing's not going to move, it's just a stationary sphere. Radius of 20 meters. Visibility, draw debug type, persistent, no, for duration, yes. So for 3 seconds we'll draw the debug thing, and then for everything within that area here, we're going to start off by just printing the name. Right? So for every person in here, we are going to for each loop. So for every person within the radius of the exploding barrel, we are going to print the name of it. Element hit actor here. And let's see if that works. There we go. So it's finding a lot of things because that's a gigantic radius. Okay, that's what I wanted. I wanted to see if it was working at all. So I'm going to reduce this to a 10 meter radius. And play Wonderwall goes off, and you can see how big that radius is. It's still way too big. So let's cut it down in half again. 5 meters. And that, yeah, okay. It's encompassing the whole pyramid structure, so I think we're good on that front. So now what are we going to do? So now that we have every person within 5 meters of the explosion, we want to kick them, and we want to destroy the barrel, but I think it's going to do itself, so I think we're good. So we're just going to say for each person here, we're going to say branch, and we want to know if they are simulating physics. So the person we hit is we did this last time, right? Simulating physics is simulating physics. It's a bone. It's so strange. Element hit actor. Price the checkbox? What's that? Go to the hit actor. What do you? Oh, that one. Yeah. Is simulating physics. Oh, okay. Yeah, nice. Very nice. Yeah. All right. Okay. So there we go. This gets me. Alright, so if it's simulating physics, then we're going to kick it. Alright, thank you. I did that last time, didn't I? Okay. So if it's simulating physics, then we are going to add radial impulse to it. Neither of these are compatible. Primitive component object reference. Yeah, this is the annoying thing about Unreal Engine. Do you remember what I did last time? But it still work with the array element. Yeah, you don't. The array thing is over with. Like, this is basically just saying for every person that's within the radius, and so it's literally the same code that we did last time. I just don't remember how I handled that. We could cast it. if we wanted, but then we're going to have a separate cast for each one of them. So it takes... Array element hit component. Yeah, you're right. Thanks. Okay, and then the origin. So the impact point is the nearest spot to the radius. And so for those of you in IS50B, by the way, this is your lecture too. So there's no separate IS50B lecture today. Just go back and watch the first part of this because we're doing destructible meshes, which is kind of fun. So the array element impact normal, impact point. So that's the point where the sphere hit the thing. Radius 10 meters, strength of 100,000 units of whatever the thing is. Impulse, so it's energy probably. Watts or something. Okay. So that did not break it. Okay. Play Wonderwall. There we go. Okay. He's flew straight up. That's amazing. Is physics not on? It's got physics on. That's funny. It's not set to ignore these things. Okay. It's strange. Oh, right, because the explosion is coming from its root. So it's actually kicking it just straight up. But that's really kind of funny. Okay, so rather than that point there, let's make it come from like above it a little bit. So so the origin of the radial impulse will be that plus vector. So we're just going to add a little bit. So we're just going to add a little bit in the z direction. So let's add like 3 meters up, something like that. Let's see what that looks like. It's probably a little bit too high, but yeah. That's what we wanted. Okay. That one didn't break. Strange. It's like kicking up a little bit. Let's try messing with this a little bit. That's just not shattering that, is it? Not very dramatic either, is it? Let's try reducing the, let's see over here, we got the physical material for the barrels. Let's turn that back down to 20. Right now they're just giving a very unimpressive little oomph as they go off, and then they just kind of crumple on themselves. Play Wonderwall. No. Just let it do a little pop-up, and that one's not even moving at all. It's not simulating physics, that's why. Okay. End. Okay. And then if we do that, then I guess we can still hit the switches or something. Although I don't know what they would do at that point. Maybe we need to tie them together. Say, go away, human. Okay, that's shattering. Alright. So, probably need a little bit more oomph to it. Let's double the strength to 200,000 watts. I don't know what the unit is. Okay. Save. Play. not really. Things are behaving very differently, aren't they? And it's just stopping the simulation. That's funny. Okay. It's just permanently stuck up there. Got it. Okay. Let's see, what can we do with this? Drop it down a little bit, maybe. It's still coming from the same point, isn't it? Let's just move everything up. Okay. Vector plus vector. So the effective location of it, let's just move it up like 200 meters. And then that's where the emitter will spawn. That's where it'll do the multi-line trace from. And that's where it will... yeah, actually we don't need to do U anymore. Okay. Back point. So that's going to do the sphere trace from a little bit higher up, which will give us a different impact point, which should look nicer. There we go. Okay. Pretty cool. I don't know why that one's so... Oh, it's probably because it doesn't have the physical material on it. Yeah. Let's put that physical material on, and you get the physical material, but you didn't have it before. That's why it was so flighty. Okay. Well, walks on four legs. Boom. Okay. Go away, human. And there we go. It's still a little bit too massive. Let's cut it down to 10. Alright. That's pretty cool. Alright, so that is destruction. So what we learned today, how to do destructive meshes. We learned how to make switches, a simple switch, using just show and hide, a little toggle switch. So what's the error? Texture pool over budget. So your video card has a certain amount of texture memory reserved for the textures, and if you go over the texture pool limit, then it won't pull in the higher res textures, and the video quality will diminish. And so you need to go into your Unreal settings.ini file, and I can show you where that is in 1 second. So on my hard drive here, probably can delete my old Windows directory, huh? Come in here and come into fall 2021. Go into config and go into default engine, maybe. And inside of here, it should be, they should have a pool now. Default editor, no. Game, no. Input, no. Things in here, it's like texture. I might not have added it, but you can, if you Google it, there's a settings you can put in there that control how much texture memory you use. Okay, so, and then we can shoot the switches, of course. And that's kind of cool too. Although this thing is stopping simulating physics at a really weird juncture. Okay, so what we learned was destructible meshes. And we learned how to do switches with up and possibly down, although I don't have down working right now because it doesn't make sense. They're already dead. The barrels are exploded. And how to, most importantly, how to have two different blueprints interact with each other. So what you do is you create a variable on one blueprint, and it didn't work for the barrels because they didn't make a blueprint out of them, which is mea culpa. And then what you do is I've got 3 copies of this blueprint thing here, but each one has a different variable attached to it, right? So what you do is you just create the variable and just leave it blank, and then in the editor you come in here, click there, and then use a little eyedrop tool. You just click on the barrel, and you click on you, and eyedrop, and click on the barrel. Or you can search for it by name, which is why names are pretty important. And then you can link switches to barrels and have them explode in different ways. So that is today's lecture. ISV 50B people will hang out with you for a little bit, but that's basically your lecture today as well, because I haven't given this lecture in about 2 years. So I know none of you have seen this before, or maybe you've seen it, but haven't had that lecture. Okay. So IS50A people, this is your homework assignment. Make this, replicate this. I will screenshot some stuff for you, I guess. Lever switch. I'll do it in 2 parts, I guess. 3 parts, maybe. It's a lot to it. That's part 1. Thanks for hanging out. It was better having you guys here. Part 2. And part 3. Oh, just last little bit there. And we like destroy the barrel, but it's fine. The impulse will do the destruction for you. I can mess with that a little bit. Let's try that. Just all right. Thursday's assignment. You'll start now. Cool. You don't need to purchase the barrels off the marketplace. You can take a cylinder and make it brown. So I've always wanted to have barrels, and so I bought some barrels for $5 today. You don't need to do that for the homework assignment, but always keep an eye on the free stuff on the store, and make sure you get September stuff before September goes away, because they rotate free stuff on the store. Look for a low poly barrel online. Yeah, it's a cylinder, so there's you can just make it yourself. It's not a big deal. And is there anything else you need to see? The barrel, the destructible mesh. Basically, when you've got a mesh, you just kind of like right click on it and choose to make a destructible mesh out of it. And then they'll shatter when they take a certain amount of damage. So they can take damage from physics. Oh, look at that. There we go. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. All right. Knock you over. Knock you off the ledge. Come on. Break. Break. There we go. But if I run into... Oh, like if I sprint into it. I'm the Juggernaut! Ah, dang it. You know who I am? I'm the Yeah. Rah! No, I'm shattering it. Making progress. Ah. Okay, I'm the Juggernaut training. No. Take a corner off. Blow it up with my rocket launcher. There we go. Reduce it to rubble. I'm the king of the hill. There we go. Alright, so that's it for today. And IS50B people, I will hang out with you for a little bit. IS50A people, get her done. Okay. See you guys next time.